What's up, guys? It is the Bad Wolf in this bad mama jamma. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying the summer months. It's just starting to get a little cool, but warmer days are ahead next week, in fact. So that is fire. Guess what? This particular video is going to be about another form that we can use for the revocation of election. It's electric. Oh, I'm just laughing. So one, if you guys have not hit that bell, like and subscribe, this means you. Go ahead and do me a favor. Doesn't cost you anything, but it means the world to me. All right. Especially because YouTube tends to like to shadow ban some of my content. So let's make sure that they know that this information, now that it's out there, is not going anywhere. And it also helps, with advertisers out there who want to advertise on my channel. And apparently, there are some people out there who are promoting Wikipedia and the sovereign C word underneath my video. So make sure you guys ah, check or click it and tell them we don't like this, or not my video, of course, but the advertisement down below. All right. If you see that particular advertisement come up, they want to play, we can play. Also, to the people who support in the Wolf Pack, thank you guys ever so much. Your monthly donations, which you can either do on YouTube or on Black Site 32, mean the world to me. So I definitely appreciate that. Also, now you can type in James C. Lovett or Badwolf Unincorporated and get to Black Site 32. So we now I have control over all of those, and all of those will take you to the same place. While you're there, don't forget to get the new free files. We've got two free files pages. We also have a number of different government programs and resources on there for people who need help with rent or food or whatever else. So check out Black Site 32 for all those. Even people who might need help with maybe you don't have any coverage for your dental. Okay. There's programs on there that can get you a dental discount card. Okay. I also made a couple of videos on how to find free programs in your area and on the internet. So check those out. To the police officers who reached out to me and wanted to know what was going on. Thank you for that. I appreciate you guys taking the initiative. And I know obviously you guys have to be, a little careful because your job is can be some people there who do not know constitutional law, a little contradictory to some of the things that you've learned. But thank you for taking that leap here with us. Um, and I've said this before, in all honesty, I was going to be a police officer and I was going to go into military and intelligence, and I didn't make the cut, because I told them I smoked weed, to be honest. And that was a big no-no. That tattoos, facial hair was all big no-nos back in the day. Now it seems like they don't even care about half that stuff anymore. It's funny. But anyway, that's what put me on this path, or part of the reason why I'm on this path. But also in that, um, I also in those days did not believe when I heard people talking the way I talk now, because I didn't know. I felt some kind of way, and feelings don't mean dick in law at all. Okay. So when you start to learn constitutional law, private law, and you understand that in contract law, and then really what the maritime jurisdiction is, that is what the states are operating under. All right. One with the U.C.C. So with that, that is not superior law. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land of the United States of America, supported and ruled over by the Supreme Court and the federal district courts. All right. They are to ensure that we have our constitutional rights and values. But if you don't know these things, then it does seem crazy, but it's actually not. And that's why we keep winning in court. So I make some of these videos also for those officers out there because I don't want to see friends and family and good officers, especially, being sued and losing their job, their houses, and whatever else. All right. So all we're trying to do here is even the playing field a little bit. We're not against any government agencies. We're not against the states. We're not against anybody. We just want to know how to do commerce. And if we choose to be private, we can be private. If we choose to be public and utilize those services and benefits and privileges, then we will do so. All right. So once again, this particular video is about the a new form that came my way, and I believe it is the 673. Just double check. Well, I'm looking through my stash of goodies. Make sure you guys hit that bell icon and subscribe, and also join me on Black Site 32 for the newsletter, and also on my other YouTube channel, which is the Badwolf Media channel. As I'll be getting jazzy on TikTok. I wanted to kind of test it out over there, how people were receptive to what I was saying. And I'd probably say 95, 98% have been over there. So my other channel on YouTube, I've got like five or six of them, but there's only two main ones, which is this one and the Bad Wolf Media channel. Um, I've been seeing people out there mimicking my name and information and stuff, so it's kind of funny. But on the Bad Wolf Media channel, that's where I'm going to be able to talk freely about a lot of things that are going on, because it is the backup channel. So yes, okay, so it is called the F673 form, all right, or the IRS Form 673. All right, the F just stands for form. All right. So without further ado, let's get over there. I'm trying to think if there's anything off the top before we get started. I haven't fully looked at this form, so I'm going to be doing this with you guys right now. Um, yeah, so sign up for the Black Site 32 newsletter. You can also do donations on Black Site 32. The question pop up on Black Site 32 is an AI. Okay, it's not me. So people are like, well, I messaged you, you didn't get back to me. That's because the AI is free and I'm not. All right. So, but yeah, let's just jump into it. Can't think of anything else off the top that I need to give you guys. Most things have been well. Thank you guys for the positive prayers and positive energy and thoughts and the emails. Some people have even sent some gifts. So thank you for that. And let's get going, gone. All right. So here is form 673. So let's take a look at it. See if I can blow this up a little bit more. All right. So in doing the revocation of election, what is the true revocation of election? Let me just back up because I'm tired of these gurus out here, and I'm sure they're tired of me busting their chops. But it is what it is. The true power behind the revocation of election is going to your employer, who is the withholding agent, okay, because you've never applied to be the withholding agent. Um, they have the ability to withhold, right, funds that are generated at that location. Government gave them this ability. You never challenged it, so they're just like, well, we're going to hold it. All right. So that's why when the government or whoever states or whoever wants to try to garnish or whatever else, they go to the withholding agent. And then they just yank your money because you've never elected to be the withholding agent. So the withholding agent has the authority to accept your declaration. Now, here's where it gets interesting because these, you know, well, there's a lot of fake gurus out there, but also some of these employers, they will try to fool you and play games. We're not about any of that here, guys. We're not here trying to rip people off, trying to make a fair wage, if you will, for the labor. But it's understanding that when you make your declaration, they can not like it all they want, but if they can't find a law against what you're doing or you've done, and they take you to court and prove it, you can sue them if they're not going to accept your declaration of your tax status. But if you are going to do any of these things, as always, this is education, entertainment use only. Um, you need to have your documents prepared in case you are challenged by your employer or the state or the Fed or whatever else, which that's where the revocation, the documents, the papers, which depict the laws and the court cases that side with us having the ability to choose that we are taxable if we want to be. That is called an election to be taxed. Truth be told, if you read through all the paperwork and you follow everything back, your 1040s are really gifts to England, okay, to the Queen or the King. And the government is essentially, to some degree, you could almost call it double dipping. All right. Now think about this. Back in the day, before what, the 30s, 20s, 30s, there was no federal income tax. And our government ran just fine. So yeah, they're making more money. So I'm not saying you should just cut them off because it does go to a lot of projects out there. But if you really ask me, there should be an oversight committee that's separate from the government, separate from the states, and there should be a review of where all of our tax dollars or donations or whatever else are going. And there isn't. All right. They're just like, oh yeah, we spent this much, and yeah, everything looks fine to us. Yeah, it's kind of like how the some of the police events, we'll just call them, police themselves. Oh, we didn't find any wrongdoing with ourselves. If that's the case, well, you know what? Never mind. All right. So when you make your election there, they're supposed to take it because you have the right to choose. Okay. And I've looked around. I've never seen anything where it said that the social security number as is taxable, period. But they do talk about that you can make an election to be taxed. So, and I like on one of their on the Social Security Administration's websites, they're now using some of the proper terminology. So thank you to those government agents who are watching my videos. Because when they talk about Social Security now on one of their pages, they say the United States when using the geographical. I know you guys got that from me. I know you guys did. So thank you for doing your jobs out there, right? Because it does clean it up. That the United States of America itself is private and is tax exempt. So are we as Native Americans and nationals under GPO Styles Manual Section 5.23. So then what that means is that we've been making an election to pay taxes. And when done correctly, you can go back to your natural status as being tax exempt. Or you can reduce them, or you can pay, whatever you want to pay. You can pay more if you want. Some people, that's how they get down. But the choice is yours. All right. So now that you know that, having the paperwork that you can get from me on Black Side 32 or other people out there who sell it as well, helps you if you're ever challenged. But in general, I'm going to tell you right now, and I swear, I bet you all the people at the IRS are going like this. Please say it. Please say it. Please say it. You do not have to send your revocation of election to the IRS. We do it, but they really don't like it. They don't want them. We've never gotten a 100% positive confirmation that they really do update your file. And if anything, if you ask me, you're also just kind of putting them on the what do you call it? On the I guess on the ready to possibly look at your file and see if uh you have any back taxes or you're compliant with the compliance office, you know what I mean, for any back taxes. So do you have to do that? No, but you can. It's your choice. It's also your right as a national. But ultimately, if you think about it business wise, and all the agents right now are going, yes. If you think about it, they're just doing their business. And when I spoke to the agents a couple of years ago, basically they were just kind of like, well, if you know what you're talking about, then just fill out the proper paperwork and go about your business. They don't want to have the revocations essentially. Um, And usually what'll happen is either they'll be quiet or else they'll, say, yeah, please don't send us any more of these, and send you a file back to make a tax exempt trust or whatever else. So anyway, let's get to it. So you now know you have the choice. It doesn't mean that you can just that every employer is now you're now tax exempt. What it means is that in each event, when you're dealing with that particular employer and you put in the correct forms, which we now are like W8BN, W4V, 8233, and so on. And now the 673 form. So let's take a look. This is how I would educationally fill it out. All right. So the things that I can look at this and identify is that says statement for claiming exemption from withholding on foreign earned income eligible for the exclusions provided in section 911. Okay. So if that's the case, this now tells me that if I'm going to be looking up other interesting files and IRS stuff, I'm going to want to look up section 911. Okay. This is how my brain looks at these things. Two, name, first, last, and your social. So by me having a social, this means that this is something that may or may not apply to me. But what they're saying here is that there are moments, if you know how to use this form, where you can apply with your social here and you can do these things. It doesn't say an EIN only, it doesn't say non-residents, just says if you believe that what you're earning is foreign and non-taxable, okay, and maybe your belief is that you are a national and that the compensation you're being paid, you have the right to declare that that is either foreign earned income or back in the United States of America to you, or that you want to declare it to be taxable. All right. So, let's see here. Let's go. James Cash Money Records. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Okay. Put your thing in there. So as we go through, it says the following statement, when completed and furnished by a citizen of the United States. So why do they put this here? They put this here because this term means all of the available statuses and standing in our nation. Federal citizen, state citizen, national, non-resident, all of the terms that are recognized fall underneath the term citizen of the United States. To his or her employer permits the employer to exclude from income tax withholding all or part. So apparently you can do all or part. You can adjust it of your wages paid for services performed outside the United States. Now, legally, we now know that there are two United States, and they do not mention that is this the geographical or is this the corporate? Because remember, both of the de facto or corporate and the de jure, okay, meaning America, are overlaid on the exact same ground, minus some outlying areas and whatever else. So they're both overlaying right now. And they don't tell you here which one. Okay. So that means because there's more than one definition to the term, the United States. One's the organic and one's the corporation. One's the fringed flag and one's the unfringed flag. Now, we know that if you're charging taxes, typically it's going to be the fringed flag and it's the corporation. So, based on that, okay, they're now saying that, let's see, qualification information for foreign earned income exclusion. Some people say, okay, well, if my job is right here and they're registered to the U.S. corporation and all that other stuff, do I have the ability to say that this compensation is not taxable, yes, you have the right because in America it is not taxable. You as a national are not taxable. You are getting taxed. You are getting you're getting compensated by your labor, which by the federal court is not taxable. But somewhere along the lines, you were convinced to make an election to be taxed. If you really look up the codes, okay, they are only supposed to tax within the federal zones or the District of Columbia. But when you use the zip code, you're saying that I'm now generating income in a federal taxable zone. So we now know that there's a difference between the living me and the all caps me, the public and the private, the geographical United States of America and the corporate United States. Okay. Corporate United States with the gold fringe flag, you can look up under Army Regulations AR 840-10, use of the fringed flag. So let's move forward. I expect to qualify for earned income, foreign earned income exclusion under either the bona fide residence or physical presence test for calendar year or other tax year beginning. Oops, let's go. Okay. And ending, well, I guess you could either put December if you wanted, um, or I'd probably put not applicable. All right. But once again, you can move how you want to move. Please check applicable box, bona fide residence test. So they're going to give you two. So bona fide, okay? Good fidelity residence test or physical presence test. You can choose either one, but let's go through it. I am a citizen of the United States. So remember, all of the terminologies, all of the statuses and standings fall underneath here. So you're just saying, they're saying, are you one of these that fit into this category? So, okay, yeah. I have been a bona fide resident of. Now, some people we could look up the term bona fide. So let's do that real quick. Bona fide meaning neither suspicious nor counterfeit, made with earnest intent, sincere, made in good faith without fraud or deceit. Okay. So yeah, that would okay, so am I a bona fide resident? Okay. Now remember the word resident means a resident. You resided and joined there. So they're saying, are you one of our, citizens? Any of the forms? And I've been a bona fide resident or resident. I've left the Constitution for the United States of America and joined the corporate world. Well, you can choose how you want to answer that one, but let's keep going. And resident of, and my tax home has been located in. Now here they're saying foreign country or countries. Okay. So for these purposes, I'm going to put United States of America because I know that America is foreign to the United States Corporation for legal purposes. For an uninterrupted period, includes an entire tax year that began on okay. I expect to remain a bona fide resident and retain my tax home in a foreign country or countries until the end of the tax year for which this statement is made. Or, if not that period, from the date of the statement until something like that, or whatever. And actually, if you wanted, you could just put NA. So it says until the end of the year for which a statement is made. So 1 year from here, or if not, then from the date on the statement. So you could put it here, whenever, however long you're going to be there or work. So pretty much I would just NA there and then 24. So the whole year. Um, or if you're gonna, yeah, 24, the whole year. Okay. I have not submitted a statement to authorities of any foreign country named above that I am not a resident of that country. Okay. So yeah, this is where I'm located. I'm always domiciled in America. Or for me, Leviticus sometimes. Um, Based on the facts in my case, I have good reason to believe that for the period of foreign residence, I will satisfy the tax home and bona fide foreign resident requirements prescribed in Section 911D1A of the Internal Revenue Code and qualify for exclusion code Section 911A allows. Or one or the other, you can check one or the other. All right. Physical presence test. I'm a citizen of the United States, except for occasional absences that will not disqualify me for the benefit of this section. I expect to be present in and maintain my tax home in. So for tax purposes, I'm in America. Okay, so you can even just write America in there if you want, you know, or whatever you want. Um, what is it? Material graph. All right. I could also put without the U.S. All right. For a 12-month period that includes the entire tax year, or so you're done really at this point in time, or if not the entire year for the part of the beginning on this, and you can put your dates. All right. So then estimated housing cost amount or foreign housing exclusion. All right. So let's just go 100 utilities. I don't know. Go I don't know, 50 real and personal property insurance, occupancy tax not deducted, non-refundable fees paid, household repairs. Well, this year it would have been a lot more. So I don't know. Estimated qualified housing expense is based on housing amount for disqualifying period. Subtract line 8 from line 7. This is your estimated housing cost amount. Okay. So if you have those things, you can put them in there. Other than that, you're going to put your John Hancock here. You're going to date it. And that is it. Hand your HR your form. Now, your particular results and information are going to vary. So, once again, optional. Not telling you to do it, not saying this is the appropriate way. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying if it fits or they do not want to accept the W8BN, use this particular form. Now, how do I know this? I'm glad you asked. So a client of mine contacted me, said they wouldn't accept the W8BN. And when they responded, they said, we would prefer you. So they didn't say they weren't going to work with them or accept a exemption form. They just told him, for what you're doing, a better form is the 673. This comes right from, well, I won't mention the company, but they're a big company, HR department. They said the 673, we know what you're doing. And they said, We don't personally like the W8BN, but the 673 is more appropriate. So you have it right from an HR department of a rather large company. And they said, we have no problem taking this one. Now, each company may be a little bit different. All right. So if they tell you they don't accept that one, me personally, I would ask them to put it in writing, please, for legal reasons. Then I would say, okay, well, what forms do you recommend? Because that's what the HR's job is for. I would ask them, what are all the forms that you guys are familiar with for exemptions? Now, we've already covered the W-4 and marking exempt on the tax line. That's an old school one, still works. The W-8BN, the 8233, 1040 NR, and now the 673. There might be a couple other ones as well. But that's it. So you now have another form that you guys can use. Fill out how you see fit. These are just guides and examples. Individual results may vary. We're not responsible for how you use or not use any materials here, educationally speaking. But that's pretty much it. That is the revocation of election using the 673 form. We'll talk to you guys later. I got more videos to make. And yeah, enjoy your summer. Stay healthy. Talk to you guys later. Okay, then. Bye.